So hello and welcome to another homebrew video, possibly the first one in the country, possibly, from somebody who does these daft videos, brewing the Love Brewing, and it's their Beerworks Mastercraft Emerald Isles Stout. Is it £10.95? £10.95 for the kit. Brews 40 pints. Mastercraft Emerald Isles Stout. So, is it Guinness? Is that what they're trying to replicate? No idea. So, always the fun bit, trying to get the blooming lid off. So obviously it's in a tin. There we go. Right. Interestingly, and I do mean interestingly, it's got bulldog hops in it. That is interesting, yeah. So, Goldings and Fuggle apparently. Finishing hops, teabag technology. I absolutely think teabag technology. I don't want to put blooming hops in. Well, if you make a mess of the beer and you've got to faff around getting it out. For anybody who's into homebrew, keep it as easy and to make and do. So that's interesting. Here's the 10 grams. I'd assume that is the yeast. Yeah. So here's the writing, and so limited edition Mastercrafted beers. You will need this kit, sanitizer, 1 kilogram of sugar. So I'll only be sticking to what I'm told to do. I won't be playing around with it. I want it to see how it goes. Fermentation, fermenter with airlock, holding at least 25 litres. That holds 30 litres. Don't go for a 25 litre one, go for a 30 litre one. Or even bigger than 30 litres. If you can get a 40 litre one, whether they do that, I'm not sure. Yeah. Extendable siphon. That's for when you obviously decant it. Beer bottles or keg. Plastic beer bottles are great. Wash them out. Wash your pop bottles out. Sterilise them. Jobs are good. A beer capper. Yeah. Optional equipment. Hydrometer. Well, yeah. You've got to have a hydrometer. A thermometer. Not so bad about thermometers. But if you need to, if you're new to the game, thermometer, yeah. Heat tray or brew belt, definitely. If you're new to the game, I've got a warm space upstairs, basically where my clothes are, and it's warm enough, and I don't need to worry about that. However, I was given by my friend Paul an actual thing that you put into the beer that warms the beer up to the right temperature. Not used it yet, so I need to do that at some stage. Once I work out how to use it. A beer paddle for stirring. Yep, I'm good at stirring. And a muslin bag. That'll be for the hops. Although if they come in a tea bag, you don't need that. So clean equipment, blah blah blah. Stand the can in hot water for 15 minutes. I should have done that, I hadn't. So yeah. So I'm not going to read the rest because you can read it yourself. So after 5 days, open the hot pellet sachet, soak in a cup of boiling water, and then chuck it in. 7 days of fermentation. It's got to be below 1008. Yeah, so the instructions are what they are. Read the instructions yourself. I've brewed that many beers that I'm just going to do it my way anyway. So let's open the tin first. Always have some, or get you the best blooming tin opener you can. Trust me. And have multiple ones as well, because sometimes some tins just don't want to open. So oh, the aroma coming through. You can see why I says get 2 tin openers. when I'm using tins like this, I prefer the wide fermentation bucket. I've also got a thin one, but you know, trying to put the tin, hold the tin and put in water and that, no. And I've actually got 3 actual fermentation buckets, and technically 4 if I can't do one. So, oh, so big black, yeah, you can see it. So I'm going to pour that in, and you can see how dark that is. Oh, smells nice anyway. It smells nice without the hops going in. So, if this had been stood in hot water beforehand, it would have poured in very much better than what I'm doing. So I'm going to stop it now, or try. Oh heck. So I've already brewed 1 kettle of water. Right, that's kind of killed it now. Pour that one in. Two and a half kettles of water. Don't remember it saying what the ABV is going to be. No. Yeah, I'll have to give that a swirl around on the next one. We'll chuck the sugar in now. So yeah, there's 2 of these kits. So back with it. There's 2 of these kits. There's one that's Emerald Isle and there's one that's Dubliner. And bloody stupid phone update did it again to me. That is so annoying. I'll have to update the phone tonight because the phone will get lobbed out the window if it cuts me off again. So whenever I do a 23 litre brew, 40 pints, 2.5 kettlefuls, you know, stick to the instructions at all times. If you're new to the game, stick to the instructions. If you've brewed before, you'll know how much kettle water that you'll need, hot water. You'll know that you don't need to use a thermometer, but for a lot of people who are new to the game, you know, stick to the instructions as best as you can. Cleanliness is godliness. Make sure that your fermentation bucket is sterilised brilliantly, and if you do need to rinse it out, rinse it out. You know, make sure it's clean. So yeah, tea bag hops, brilliant. You just chuck the hops in, brilliant. Yeah. Right, just waiting for that to do. Now I've got to prat around joining the videos together, which annoys the hell out of me. I'll update the phone tonight, because that's rattled the cage. And I've got another brew to do as well, so I don't want to be updating. I don't want to be joining videos together. It's annoying. So yeah, I've got 3 of these Beerworks kits. You know, 11 quid with the price of sugar, 12 quid, 30 pence a pint. Let's get that out there. 30 pence a pint. Oh. Always good fun waiting for a kettle to boil. So now I'm going to clean the inside of the tin by, you know, putting my spoon in. Again, you should really what's the name of this, sterilise it. Mine's been in the dishwasher, so it's clean anyway, but yeah. So pour so much in, swirl it round, go up and down, and obviously every single bit of that malt is what makes the beer. So losing any of it is not good, you know, so you really do want to make sure that you don't lose any of it. Even now it's coloured the water up lovely. I still haven't worked out what this is supposed to be replicating. You know, one's a Dubliner, so it's the Dubliner Guinness clone, and is the Emerald Isles, I don't know, like a Murphy's Stout clone. If anybody knows, please tell me, because I don't know. So, obviously, use something to make sure you don't scold yourself. You know, it sounds daft, but don't drop the spoon in. And wow, crystal clear, as you can see, lovely and clean. So pour the rest in. And now half a kettle full. And now the beauty is now put them together. So 5 days time. So I need to remember all these timings. Timings are critical. So right, I'm now going to stir the mixture and the sugar so it all dissolves. Tell you what, it's got a lovely thickness to the pulp, to the malt extract. Now my only slight pain is that this is a fermentation bucket for all grain, a pico, and it's got the eating element that's in the base, and obviously I can't get rid of the eating element. And if you are using one where that you've got an eating element in, make sure you get underneath the eating element without causing any issues. Ooh. Got to be honest, it's a lovely sweet tasting malty extract. So pour this in. Clean it off the sides as I'm pouring it in. Right. So I'm now ready to pour the water in, cold water. Obviously with water, depending on where you live, you may need to use bottled water. However, that'll chuck the price up massively. To be honest, if you're used to drinking water out of your tap wherever you live, then it's not going to make much difference to the beer, because you're used to that water anyway. Only brewers need to worry about them sort of things. So, we now need to get up to 23 litres. This is where having one of them taps with a hose pipe connection on would be brilliant. I've got them at work like that, and you know, it makes doing this sort of job. Well, you don't have to use these, you just go up to where you need to go up to. But hey ho. I haven't got one, so yeah, it's tough. So that's roughly 20 litres. So one more jug and then half a jug. One of these days I'll remember to stick a line on 23 and do it that way, but I'm not going to quibble over, you know, a pint of beer. So I'm going to take a hydrometer reading and see what it is beforehand. It helps you work out to some extent what the beer should end up being. So here we go. And so it's coming out at about 10:44, that is. So I'll assume that will probably be about 4%, 4.5 at the most. Let me take the camera off, just so you can see it. Try not to kill the video, which would be bloody annoying. So there we go, there's the beer. Just going to add the yeast into the mix. So literally, you know, it's a 20-minute, once you've done all your sterilising and all that, the actual brew pot's 20 minutes. To make a beer that's going to cost you 30 pence a pint. Obviously the bottling is another, you know, that's going to take you a bit of time, but it's all good fun. You know, if you've got kids who drink pop, rinsing the bottles out, quickly sterilising them, dead easy. So, pour the yeast on. And again, take it off again. Oof. And there we go. Ooh, look at that. And already, smell that bready yeast going off. It's looking good already. Ooh. Can't wait to see what this looks like. I mean, I don't know if I'm the first person to do a video doing the brew of these beers, but you know, I assume it's somebody like Muntons or even Bulldog Brews, judging by the hops that are doing it. Or Bulldog Brews Muntons, they probably are, you know, Hambleton Bard, they're all probably the same thing really. But nonetheless, look at the colour now, it's already changing colour. Yeah, that's interesting. So, yeah. So, you know, I'll come back on day 5, which will be, today's Thursday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, before I do an update. And that's when the hops will be going in. I may well put my head in beforehand just to make sure, because I do like to make sure that it's actually doing something, you know, and brewing. Yeah. Otherwise, I'll swirl the hell out of the kit and try and reinvigorate it to get it moving. But yeah, put the lid on. £30 a pint for something that's going to be somewhat close to, I assume, like a Guinness type experience. I can only see, you know, in the end it's going to be an Irish stout, Emerald Isles. So that's my brew day. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's going to be interesting. Thank you for watching.